It's still the same day. Sometimes I just have to talk more than one time. Um, right after I finished the last time, I was thinking, oh man, I should have said this. I should have clarified that. Or, oh yeah, you forgot you were talking about this. Um, and then I thought, oh, well, I'll just talk about them now, but I don't remember what they were. Maybe they'll come back to me though again, as they came back to me a few minutes ago. But I started watching this movie. It is a Lifetime movie, of course, and it is a true story, my favorite. And one of the things I was thinking about with the true story thing, because at first the story was, this woman was escaping this guy, and he had beat her, and I was just thinking about, how many women have lived this story, and they've had that experience where they've been captive in their own lives by somebody, and it's been a common theme for female energy, to go through this experience. And so she, you could just tell she was troubled. They just, I don't know, but she had a kid with a guy, but he was too much of an addict to take care of the kid. But then this other guy who was going to rescue her and love her child, and she even let him adopt her child, then, he would be the savior in her life or whatever. So she marries him, lets him adopt her kid, and the kid doesn't get to know his real dad, who's just an addict, who's no good for anybody. He lives in Swaller. I think it's called Swaller. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And just, lives like an addict. His house looks like a flop house. And the current husband, who adopted her son, is beating her, and she's on the run. And when she gets to where she's going to, then she finds out that she's kidnapped her kid, and he's charged her. And I know I talked about this before, because I also did that same, thing where I've got to escape this person. And I took off and I left the state. It was right after I moved up here. And I took off and went back to Southern California, back to where I had family. And so when I got there, I called an attorney because I wanted to file. Because when I had filed the first time and I had my kids, they said, I was told you should have never filed here. You should have always, because I got trapped there. I couldn't leave California if I wanted to keep my kids. And when that person has family to live with, then you're just struggling young girl now with 2 kids and somebody who's not giving you 1 cent for child support, but you have to stay there. It's a challenge, to say the least. But so she, so when I had tried to do it the second time, and I tried to escape and go and file, then I was told, hey, you just kidnapped your kids. You kidnapped your own children by leaving the state, and you have to go back before you get charged. And so I was like, what the fuck? I mean, they get you every way possible with the legal system. So anyways, I went back, and that was a lot of years of a lot of issues and a lot of lessons, a lot of good things that taught me a lot. But so this woman, she has done that. But when she starts to go back, her little boy, which is also another fascinating kind of phenomenon to me, is when you have somebody who you would think of as not being as bright, they've lived kind of like a, grew up rural, they've never had a lot of outside influence or challenge, they just kind of live this, and then they get this kid who was like, I don't know, savant or something, genius, that, just what he talks about, what the facts he knows, and everything. This little wee kid, and he just knows all this stuff. That just shows you, to me, that there's something to who you are inside of you that's more than just what you're born to. So, anyways, when she is gonna head back to the guy and go back and try and fix it, she'll get over it, him beating her. It's not every day, and but then the kid discloses that old, what's his name, Wayne or something, he sneaks into his bedroom at night and takes off all his clothes, and he does things to me, blah blah blah. So that starts a whole new thing. And there's been so many of these movies that I have seen, since the beginning, because I remember some of these different women's stories. Because when I was going through some stuff a long time ago, there was some women going through similar things, and they would be in the news, and I would be paying attention, and there was some fucked up shit that went on, and I haven't finished this movie yet, but she now is she's the one charged. She's in jail. He's got her even on some kind of psych hold, the dad, and he's an adopted dad too, and he has more rights than what she has right now, and she's trying to protect her kid. And so there's been a lot of like really tragic stories who have kind of trailblazed for other people, kind of like, if in a sense, as an energetic martyr that went in and changed the direction of how things were going. And, like this woman's story, or some of the other ones that I have heard throughout time that really changed women's stories, they're just everyday women. They're just regular women, just, going through challenges. But then we all get to see how they play it out. Which, that shows too, right there, how you should always be at your best. You should always be of your highest integrity and stuff, because you're putting that out there. And you don't always know until after the fact, like this woman, or some of the other ones I've seen. Like, did they even know how much they affected change? Some of them went in and, fought at Congress and stuff to change laws for other women. But some of them, I don't even know that they all know how significant they have been for other women. Like, there's so many women in prison who killed their husbands in order to escape. And look at how much change that created in the system for protecting about women. Just in that one movie I was talking about the other day, in that woman getting 45 years for planning. She didn't even plan it. She just hired some freaking weirdo to kill her husband. She didn't plan it. He planned it. All she did was, try to find a way to escape. She couldn't figure out anything else. And those women's lives and their energy has affected all of our stories as women. That is what is so, there is just so much like connection that we just don't even all know, the fabric that weaves us together. I just think it's I think it's interesting to look at. Probably some people just think like, whoa, she talks about some weird shit, man. Why does she even care? I've had people say that stuff to me. So it's not just like I'm conjuring these thoughts. I talk about this stuff that I talk about. And I've had people say, you talk about weird shit. Why do you talk about such weird shit? Why do you think about weird shit? It's like, it's not weird shit to me. This is stuff my brain likes to think about. And I don't understand why everybody's doesn't. it's weird to think about, like, what are other people's brains thinking about? What are they doing? Like, do they have conversations in there and they just have no awareness of it? I have conversations in mine, but I have awareness of it. So I don't know. I find it quite intriguing and fascinating to think about what other people, how they process the world, how they process everything. And, you know, like even with this movie, just thinking about that woman's experience, you know, and she's being in these really horrible relationships. She has super low self-esteem, obviously, because you won't be in a bad relationship unless you have some sort of self-esteem, some kind of thing that you feel bad about yourself, because you won't accept it. You wouldn't accept somebody treating you like shit when you know you have value. You know, that's why we all have to raise our value. Like this golden age isn't just about abundance. It's also the feeling of feeling abundant in yourself, in your soul, and realizing you don't even need as much as what we've been sold that we need. You know, that's all just a marketing thing to enslave us. We don't need that much. And we find happiness in each other. We find happiness in moments. We don't, you know, it might be exciting. You know, like I love to go to the thrift store. I love to find a bargain. And it's exciting. It's a high. It's a, you know, like, oh my God, look at this. And I got it for $2. You know, it's like, ooh, I celebrate. You know, and that is, that's an artificial high for sure. But, it's also, it's fun to do that. It's fun to get those little things. That wasn't even what I was going to say. I was thinking about something else when I started saying that. But it is true. It is fun to go get. But we don't need as much as what we think. And, you know, like it is fun to get like some new car, you know, like I would love to have, my favorite car is an old Corvette. I just love those things. And I love the one, like an old white Cadillac one, convertible one. And, you know, where they had the top down in the old movies and the scarf flying behind them, you know, well, around her hair, because they had to have their hair tied so their hair would stay perfect. I think back then they did a lot of updos. And you know, another thing too in this movie is the there was another thing too about the stereotyping in the other one I wanted to say. But in this one, you know, when the two cops are discussing, like, you know, she's bad. She was a bad teenager. She's just a bad person. Her husband, on the other hand, he goes to church. He's only had a couple of tickets, maybe a DUI. You know, he's a good guy. He's not a problem. So he couldn't be molesting the kids. She's just lying about it. And like that's just, if somebody goes to church, and there's a lot of people who've gotten away with being some pretty shitty people because they go to church. All they got to do. And they sold us that for a long time. You know, that, and then you can kind of see, like, as the politicians all started being like, you know, they're going to out religious one another. This perfect Christian man that, you know, was faithful to his wife and is wonderful to his children. We can trust him. We can trust him with all the power of the world. And it's like, all he has to do is say he goes to church and put on a fake smile. And okay, he's a good guy. He goes to church. Bullshit. I mean, how did people get that one? Oof. And the other one too was in that other show. So I was thinking about that woman and her smoking that weed. I don't know, what was it? Was that? There was something about the something else that happened. Maybe it'll come to me. But I wanted to say that too. But there is, just there's so many people that aren't even living up to their fullest potential, or that, they're just so beat down by they can never be enough. You have to be more. You have to, the way they'd have it is like, if you're not a workaholic, progressive, probably you better at least be a little gay. Spend all of your money. You're fine with having someone else's kid. Just this whole thing, that they have tried to sell us, this idea. When I was a kid, though, the idea was a lot different. It was, I think it was selling us the idea of what this person is, so that they could start bringing people in that we thought, well, if they're this way, then they're good people. But they weren't. All the stuff that they do kind of is like so overlapping and twisted that, it's like multifaceted. Like it's not just one thing. It's not just one thing happening, or this or that, And, all these things are all triggering events for a lot of people. It's so weird, because during mine was, the lockdowns, and then starting to look for answers, and then starting to see like all the lies and the fakeness that was going on. I couldn't believe it. And I don't even know, I was guided somehow to start listening to him speak, and I haven't been a news person. I don't watch the news. I haven't watched the news in such a long time. So I guess when I was trying to find out what's going on with this sickness, it only made sense. He's doing a press conference. I better tune in. But then you start seeing that the lies that are being said. So that was, thankfully, that was one of the things that really got me aware to certain things in our lives. But there's things happening right now that are to create this awareness in others. So I don't even know all the events, because I really feel like I'm living in this other reality that I don't. They just live in a different reality than me, and I don't really know all the stuff what's going on. One of my daughters did say something about, she thought it was really mean that they were sending over all these things that were causing blood clots, and just sending them to poor people, because that's not right. So there's things that they're seeing that are going to be triggering whatever in them to spark a like. So I just keep saying stuff now. You got to start recognizing, the corporate. We've been in a corporate takeover. I didn't even know until this lockdown whole thing happened that I didn't even realize America was a corporation. I had no idea. And the whole thing about our birth certificates and what the numbers mean, and that we are just property, and all of their little it's like loopholes in how they write their contracts and stuff. But they don't count us as living beings somehow. They've got it. It's weird. They know we have souls. So in their writing and stuff, they take these rights away from us, and we don't even know. Oh my gosh. Humans just like, oh, okay, you're going to take care of me, please. Please, this is so hard. But all of this stuff that's so hard is all manufactured in order to get you to just throw up your hands, please save me. And it all feeds into the victim mentality. And then they've got your brain twisted around and trying to get you out of tradition, get you out of families, get you out of, I mean, it really gets to be too much when they don't even want you to be your own, what you're born as. It's like, that's really against God's law, I think. Because there is a God's law and then there's man's law. We're living in man's law. We're living in a made up fucking world. And from what I understand, the Constitution is based on God's law. And so there's not so much of, staying in your lane. We get to have a lot more independence and, a lot more abilities to create what we want it to be. Not what someone else is selling us so that we go to work and pay them lots of money and we will starve and struggle and think it's all our fault. I was just thinking, God, you just ramble, don't you? Just talk about the same thing over and over. Just like beating a dead horse. Like, come on, you guys, get with it. Let's do this. Let's get together. Our energetic force field. That we claim our sovereignty. We are righteous beings. We deserve to have everything that we want. We are here and we can be committed to taking care of the planet and living in unity with it and synchronistic like way of living, I don't know. I'm really just rambling. Maybe it's just a lonely day. It's really, really shitty out. It never got any light. It's just super, super dark. I have like every light on in my house to try and even have any light in this room. Except this lamp. I don't turn this one on because when I do, it makes this really weird light. Like, I think it looks weird. I just think that it makes weird shadows. I don't know. I think it's better without it. But every other light is on. It's really dark. And it's cold. And Stella's been having anxiety. And then, or just really whining. Like, if I even get up and move, she jumps up and follows me. Like, what's going on? Where are you going? I'm not leaving. And then, so I thought, oh, maybe it's the rain in her joints. So I gave her some of that CBD. So now she's snoozing, but it always helps her when she gets some rest because, I don't know, I kind of think it's her guard dog mentality. She's always on guard. She's always like, oh, watch out. Whoa, somebody can be coming every noise. She can be snoozing like this, just like conked out. There can be any noise. Oh my God, out here there can be any noise. And right now it's been pretty windy. But it can be just any noise and she will jump up and start barking. But, it has kept, I think it's kept weirdos from coming up here to my house and trying to break in, except for that one night. I don't know how else that baton could be out there unless somebody dropped it in my yard, and they would have had to be in my yard, and that was that night. She went out and was barking at 2 a.m. out there at something. So, and we've only got so many robbers out here. We have like a homeless, like I live outside Bellingham. I don't know. I keep seeing it whenever I go on Google or something. They always have like the top news in Spokane and Bellingham. I don't know where they think I live. But the Bellingham, it keeps having the homeless shelters have to keep being taken down and how much it's costing, blah, blah, blah. And before it was the Antifa ones. Who knows what the fuck. It's just, it's nutty. But out here, we have, there's lots of homes that were vacation homes. I don't know now, like some of the people, because they're Canadian vacation homes, and so some of the people can't cross over the border, and so they can't come, and so their houses are being squatted by homeless people. And then the homeless people are generally, these ones out here are pretty much on drugs. So then they go around and they steal from all the neighbors, petty theft shit. I mean, like, they'll steal gas out of somebody's gas thing. But anyways, I kind of think that whoever she has barked at has been enough to be like, I'm not going up there. I'm not taking a risk of getting bit by her. And I don't know if she, I mean, if you kept coming at me, if you were really attacking me, I think she would bite you. I mean, she would definitely jump on you and probably knock you to the ground. I see her much more of sitting on top of somebody to keep them away from me or something like that. I don't see her as being like a wild animal. She's going to tear him limb to limb. Which, you know what else I was thinking about? You know, like after I had that one past life regression and I saw myself being, I didn't see myself being hung in that one. Sorry, I still have a frog in my throat. I didn't see myself being hung in that one. It was weird because I was like, I could see a certain thing, but then I knew something else because I was seeing me and this person, and I think like we were on horseback or something. There was like also a sheriff or something. There was some kind of a thing where I knew it was almost as if you lied and had someone else take your place or something, and I wasn't sure which role I had in that. But anyways, once I saw it, it relieved all of this pain that had been in my shoulders and stuff. I'll still get a migraine every once in a while. Like the other day, I slept with my hair braided, and if it pulls in this, it was a bad spot when I got my brain injury. That I don't know, it was when I guess my brain was collapsing and going down into my spinal thing. It's right in there. I don't know. It really hurts if it gets pushed on or something. So, but when that happened, I stopped having that. But the scoliosis thing. So I think about this sometimes, like, you know, what in a past life, you know, could it be why I would be, you know, have this twisted up spine? You know, what would it be? And I've thought about, especially when I read that stuff about some of my ancestors, that they had, it seems like one of them was, I think, is it called quartered? When they tie up each of your limbs to a different, I think all of them are to different horses, but maybe they're tied to a wagon and a horse. But anyways, they tie you to different things and then they split you in 4 sections. I'm pretty sure that's called quartered. I was like, oh, maybe I was quartered or had that done to me at some point in my life. Maybe that's why, you know, and I've got to heal whatever wounds it was that lead me to that situation, or if I caused that in someone else's life, you know, and I'm carrying the burden of it. And then I have also thought, like, maybe it's just my energy is just too big for my body. And it's got it all, like, you know, like when you stuff something in a suitcase and it's all, you know, gets all out of shape because you've got everything stuffed in. I thought, maybe that's it. I don't know. And I do think that there is, you know, when I was saying before about that, like, counterpart, you know, because I see a soul of but then you can take 2 of the same frequency, and when they're together, they would make something bigger energetically, you know. I'm always talking about energy-wise. That's how I see a soul. That's how I see how everything in the universe and everything works. Is just, it's all energy. And some energy has consciousness. The energies are attracted to like energies. You pull energies in. People pull energies in without having any awareness of what they're pulling in. So, I don't know, I think there's going to be a lot more stuff that'll probably come out about how energy works. As I was thinking the other day, you know, because I believe in energy work, and I've done that before where it was when I was learning about it. I can't remember what we were doing. I think I've talked about it before. But anyways, in the thing, I started feeling energy. You could feel it in your hands. And so it is a real thing that you can pull energy out. And it's weird. Like you can feel it have shape. You can feel like the heat of it and stuff. And when you do get it, you're supposed to throw it down so that the earth transmutes it. You're not supposed to just throw it up. But you're supposed to throw it down. And then there's these people, you know, who do energy work like they don't even have to see you. They don't have to know you. They can just think about you and send you energy. And I was thinking, I wonder if that is that both people have to just really believe that in order to make it happen. Or if somebody can truly do that, you know, do something to your energy without ever even meeting you. Like I know I'm not talking about like curses and stuff like that. Like people can, you know, try and interfere with your energy, but I just mean like if you have a sore hip and you're gonna talk to a Reiki healer and they live in a whole nother state, but you're gonna send them money and then they're gonna just send you healing. Like, I wonder how well that works, or if it has to be like both people have to totally live. Sounds like a windstorm outside. Oh my gosh. If you could see how windy it is. Oh my God. I don't know if you can see all the movement behind me. Those are really, really huge, tall trees. Even the rain is hitting up against the window. So crazy when you can hear the wind. It sounds so much louder when it goes through all these trees. I don't know. Maybe we're gonna have I don't know. Can you even have a hurricane up here? Or is that just down in the south? Like, what is a storm up here? I know that we have to watch out for, we get tsunami warnings if there's an earthquake in Japan. There's no telling. I mean, that could happen today. There's earthquakes, volcanoes, all that stuff going on. And I knew that's the stuff I was expecting. I wasn't expecting last year. I was expecting it just to be, you know, all of these more localized tragic events, bringing people together and helping people, you know, to get a grip, have those Jesus moments. But it is, that was just, it was a very significant year, 2020. It just makes so much sense when it's 2020, you just get clear vision. If you were looking for something, you got clear vision of what was going on. And, you know, this year, we'll see by the end of the year. I think that we're going to have a lot of stuff is going to be changing over the next few months. So we'll see. Because, I mean, nobody knows the timelines. And that's one thing, too, is because I believe that there is technology involved, like looking glass or something. But I think they can't see like every little, oh yeah, by the way, that show's called Traveler because it's about time travelers. And, but so each of these little things, then, I just interrupt myself and forget what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh my God. I could drive myself crazy, I think. What was it that I was saying? Go to the replay. Shoot. I can't really remember, but there is where you do see that things, when you look back, on it. Oh, the timeline thing. Okay, so and I do think that they do have some kind of looking glass or some kind of thing that they were able to see, but not see like every little detailed event, you know, like they were reading kind of an energy or something. And the reason I say that is because I had heard somebody talking about that they know that we win because these other beings cease, their energy ceases to be involved in our very near future. So then I was like, oh, so it's like energy. So it's not like they're just looking through a thing and watching something play out, and they know, because there's some stuff that had happened that was so specific. That was like, oh my gosh, like there was some stuff that happened. There's no way, if you know anything about some of the technology stuff, that you would be able to say, you know, it was no coincidence. It was, they had to have seen it. Some of the stuff has been crazy when you've been watching it. That's been fun. Like that has been a fun part of the movie to watch. Some of the other parts though are like, I'd rather get up and go to the bathroom than watch this bit. But if it is like an energetic thing, and I did hear somebody talking about that it's moves and counter moves, moves and counter moves, you know, because this is a huge thing that they are trying to fight. This beast is big and it's had control of us for centuries, and it doesn't want to let go. And it's only, you know, us becoming awake that is what is bringing us our freedom, you know. And so with some of this stuff, the really specific things, I think, you know, that we don't know. That's why we can't just say like, oh, this timeline, this is exact. And there's so many people. And they're still trying to figure out like, oh, it's got to be this day. It's got to be this day. Oh, this is going to happen this day and stuff. And I just think that if it's all about the energy and stuff, then, you know, we just have to kind of go with the flow and see how it plays out, because we are in that flow. We're in that river. We're on that boat already, and it's already, you know, going the way it's going to go. But it doesn't matter how many rocks and how many ledges or whatever, you know, on this bumpy ride that it's going to go. You know, like we don't know every single rock that we're going to run into, but we know where we're going and we know where we're going to end up. And so this part, we don't know all of this part, so we just kind of, you know, I don't think it really gets us anywhere to try and guess on timelines and stuff. But I do think there's going to be some pretty significant changes over the next few months. I don't think we're going to stay in this same energy, because this energy, there's no energy that can just stay the same, you know. And this energy that's going on is building like a volcano and is going to erupt. And, you know, we've got to have, it's more of a controlled demolition, I would say. And, you know, we're not going to go back into, you know, civil war or whatever. It is a revolution. It is us taking our power back, but it's on such a more deeper, bigger, more significant level for humanity, for all of mankind. So, you know, it's super exciting times. And I don't think I'll probably talk again today, but who knows? I live by my rules. I don't live by other people's rules. My rules work out perfectly fine for me. And nobody has to live by my rules. I'll just live by my rules. And, you know, they're right for me. And they make me feel like I'm connected and I'm right with the universe. So that's what matters to me. Okay, have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.